Anybody remember what this is? Let's jump in and find out. Alright, so as you saw in my little spoiler a few seconds ago, we're going to be talking about the e-reader today. So this is the Game Boy Advance e-reader. It was a system that allowed you to scan your Pokemon cards. You can see this little reader right here. It could scan Pokemon cards, and there were even a bunch of other kind of trading cards that came out around this time about 20 years ago that you could scan through this e-reader, and they would do different things on your Game Boy. So we're going to talk about that today. Before we jump in, I do have a giveaway as usual. We opened the McDonald's packs a couple weeks ago, so I have a full set of the holographic 6th generation Pokemon that I got from those packs. So if you want to win these, don't forget to like, subscribe, and comment down below. What is your favorite game system to play Pokemon on? Is it, the old Game Boy Advance? Is it something newer like the Switch, or maybe even your iPhone? You play Pokemon Go and maybe your iPhone is your favorite way to play Pokemon. So let me know what your favorite game system is, and you could win these 3 6th generation holos from the McDonald's packs. I'll pick a name after a couple weeks and send those cards out. So let's go ahead and jump into what this thing actually is. So this is the way it really looked. It was released, the e-reader system was released to be used with the Game Boy Advance. However, my Game Boy Advance is not in the best condition. The battery cover thing is missing, and it's always hard to see the screen because it's not backlit like all the screens are now today. So I'm actually not going to use my Game Boy Advance. Instead of that, I'm going to use my Game Boy Micro, which is actually my favorite Game Boy system. It was the first one that was actually able to fit in your pocket, right? Game Boy Advance was getting there, but this is actually a lot smaller, so I can put this over so you can compare the size, right? Way smaller, way more convenient, just a cool system. It was kind of at the end of the Game Boy era, then they switched over to DS, so I don't think there was a lot of them made, but it was a very cool little system. This doesn't fit very well because this Game Boy Micro does not have this link cable thing like the Game Boy Advance does, but still pretty good. It still works just as normal. I'm just going to make sure it's plugged in, and let's go ahead and launch it and see what these cards do. So turn it on. Transported back to the 90s instantly. Give it a second, and there it is. E-reader. Press the A button. So let's do that. It gives you a few options to scan the card. You could do some communication, I think, with different games. It would save some data, but here we're just going to go ahead and scan some cards. So let's go ahead and press A to do that. Scan the dot code. So now the thing that's tricky about these is you actually have to go very slow. So I got this numeral right here from Dragons EX. We're going to go ahead and scan that. You have to go very slow. It's not like credit cards where you can just run it right through real quick. You do have to go pretty slow. But anyway, once you do that, you get the information about the Pokemon. So we have Numel number 101 in the Hoenn Pokedex. He's a Num Pokemon, and he's 2 foot 4 inches and 53 pounds. He tells you where you can find this. So if you have a copy of Ruby Sapphire or even Emerald, you should be able to find it on the Fiery Path or the Jagged Path. It also tells you about the card. I think if you scroll, you can scroll left and right like this. It tells you little flavor text about the card. Numel stores magma of almost 2,200 degrees Fahrenheit with its body. If it gets wet, the magma cools and hardens. So it tells you a little bit about the card. And then I think if I press A, it tells you how it evolves. So Numel evolves into Camerupt, and that's really it. There's not a whole lot more. That's pretty much it. So let me move on to another card. One of everybody's favorites is Eevee. So let's go ahead and run this through and see what we get. So again, nice and slow. Put that off to the side. And we have Eevee. So not found in Hoenn. So I don't think Eevee was available at all in the 3rd generation, Ruby, Sapphire, and Emerald. It tells you a little bit about the card. And again, it gives you the type of the card. It's a colorless Pokemon. and it tells you a little bit about it. It has the ability to alter its composition of its body, and everybody knows that because Eevee can evolve into so many different types of Pokemon. It tells you a little bit about this de-evolution, which is a mechanic in the card game where you de-evolve a Pokemon. So instead of Eevee evolving into Vaporeon, for instance, it's Vaporeon de-evolving into Eevee. So that's what de-evolution is. Tells you a little bit about that. And then the art for the evolutions is pretty cool because, of course, Eevee evolves into so many different Pokemon. So in the third generation, Eevee only had 5 evolutions into Espeon, Umbreon in the second generation, and Vaporeon, Flareon, and Jolteon from the first generation of Pokemon. Of course, you know, Sylveon and Glaceon and all those others weren't around yet, so there's only 5 to display here. And that's what that is. So again, nothing too crazy. That's about it. That's all it shows. We'll go back there, and we'll scan a few more cards. But before we scan Pokemon cards, I have a question. Does anyone remember this guy? So for any Animal Crossing fans out there, this is an Animal Crossing card. Believe it or not, they made Animal Crossing cards for, I don't know, maybe a year or two. And just like everything else, Animal Crossing, you know, you get packs of Animal Crossing cards and they come with all your favorite Animal Crossing characters. This was back when Animal Crossing was on the GameCube only, so of course the character selection was a lot more limited. You couldn't download more characters from the internet or anything like that. And you wouldn't get updates from, you know, downloadable content and that kind of thing. But yeah, so that's what this is. It's an Animal Crossing card. We're going to go ahead and scan this and see what we get. I don't have many of these in my collection, but just something I found, and I decided it'd be kind of fun to scan. Did it work? I think it might not have worked. I got to press A to start the scan, and I think, nope. So I just slid it too fast, and that was not even that fast. But it gave me an error. It said I needed to scan it again. Let me set that up, and there we go. Try that. No, I still went too fast. Let me try it again. Very slow. There we go. That sounded much better. Let me put it like that. And I think, yeah, I checked this before. It literally just gives you a little essay. I've heard certain rumors that concern me lately. Perhaps you have as well, yes? Well, I'll be the first to admit that I occasionally root through the dump. Well, why not? Goods are goods, even in the dump. I am not ashamed. And so that's really all it did. There was no, you can see why this e-reader system was a little bit tacky, right? You know, it was kind of fun to read these little essays from these Animal Crossing characters, but it really didn't give you any kind of game to play. It didn't add anything to your Animal Crossing games on the GameCube or whatever. You know, it was just a little kind of flavor text story to read around the character. So that's about it for those. I have some more Pokemon cards, and these are of course Machop, Machoke, and Machamp, which are the evolution line. These are a little different, so I thought this would be exciting. You'll notice that these cards that we scanned before only have codes at the bottom and none at the side. You'll notice that these ones have codes at the bottom and at the side, so we're going to do a little bit of scanning of these codes on the side. First, I'll show you again. If you just go ahead and scan the bottom code, which again, nice and slow, you'll just get the usual explanation of the Pokemon. And so it just tells you a little bit about Machamp, tells you a little bit about the card, tells you Machamp is a fighting Pokemon. Again, you can see that fighting logo there. This Pokemon is a great starting Pokemon. It has 50 HP, just like it says there, and needs only 1 fighting energy to use its first attack, which is that first attack there, Punch. So again, if you scan the bottom of the card like that, like we just did, you get that same explanation about the Pokemon that we saw before. But now let's try scanning the side of the card. Nice and slow. That went through. And it says I need to scan 2 more dot codes, which are the Machoke and the Machamp, in order to run some application. So luckily, I have these right here, so I'll go ahead and scan those. Press A to go back to the scan mode, and I'm going to scan the Machoke. And gives me another bar. And then I got to scan the Machamp. Let's see how we do with this. Nice and slow. And I got an application, and it's actually, if it loads in a second, a game. So basically, there was a game encoded on the, wow, I lost already. There was a game encoded on the sides of all these cards. So instead of having to insert like a whole game cartridge like you do now, you can just scan these codes off of, scan this game off the codes on the side of the card. And basically you can see here, it's just a little game where Machop is trying to break all of these boulders as they try to come and hit him. And as you saw before, I lost very quickly, but maybe I can do okay. Nope, I got knocked out again. Anyway, I think if you get like above 20 or 30 boulders, it's a little animation of Machop evolving, but I'm clearly not very good at this game. I'm trying to play it through the camera that I have in front of me that films all this, so it's a little difficult to play, but you know, you can see it's a simple little game. Pretty neat that you can scan that off cards like that. So let's give it one more shot. Let's see how we do. You can literally just, you can see this game is not very complicated. You can basically just spam the B button and do pretty well. Anyway, so I'm not going to try it again. Not going to bore everybody with my limited video gaming skills. But I hope you all enjoyed that. Hope that was a fun little history lesson in, you know, Nintendo and Pokemon history. I hope you learned a little bit something about the e-reader. And, you know, if you can pick one up, they're pretty, I think they're pretty cheap on eBay. Now you can get them used if you want to pick one up and try it yourself. So go try that out if you're interested. Again, if you like what you saw, please don't forget to like, subscribe, and if you want to win these 6th generation Holo McDonald's starters, you can comment down below what your favorite platform to play Pokemon on is or was. So look forward to reading your comments below. Thanks again for watching, and I'll see you all next time.